So if you're a woman over the age of 40 looking to lose 50 pounds or more and you've been struggling with your weight up until this point, then in this video I'm going to be sharing with you 7 steps that I have used with my clients to help them lose anywhere between 50, 60 and 85 pounds plus. For example, the lady you can see on screen right now, Gaynor, was able to take off 85 pounds using the 7 steps I'm about to share with you. So I'd recommend you have a pen handy so you can make some notes, and then when this video is finished you can start to implement this stuff. So step number 1 is making a decision. Now what do I mean by making a decision? I don't just mean any old decision, a decision that says you are going to lose the weight regardless. And what does it actually mean? Well, when you make a decision, a lot of people think it means you have to be perfect when it comes to your diet, your exercise, and you've always got to be super motivated. And nothing could be further from the truth, because look, I know and you know, everybody knows that life is going to happen, and there are going to be times when you don't stick to the diet plan. There are times when you don't do the workout routine. There are times when you feel, quite honestly, a bit pissed about everything that's going on and you're not in the mood to do weight loss. This is going to happen. And if you think by making a decision it's going to suddenly remove all of that, then you are setting yourself up for failure. A decision simply means, in my opinion, and with the clients that I work with, means that when you slip, when you fall, when you get a bit discouraged, you're prepared to dust yourself down and go again. That's what a decision really is. Anything less than that is just wishful thinking. The second thing you need is a personalized plan. You know, I've heard so many women come to me and say, you know, I tried a diet or a workout plan that my friend or my work colleague or a family member was doing, and it worked for a little while, but then it didn't work. Here's the problem. You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. You are unique in terms of your own set of circumstances. You're not unique in terms of, you know, you've got 2 eyes, 2 legs, 2 arms, and, you know, a human being, and you've got challenges. We're all very similar in that regard. But in terms of your particular set of circumstances, you're unique. So you need a program that's going to be personalized to your particular situation, rather than just something that you've seen, again, a friend, a family member, a work colleague, or some celebrity do that's got some amazing results. You need to really think about getting a personalized plan. Step number 3, action. Goes without saying, you've got to take action, but it doesn't have to be massive action. And here's the problem that people make again, or the mistake that people make. They try and take too big steps early on in their weight loss journey. You know, they try and suddenly overhaul their diet, they overhaul their exercise, they want to become super motivated. And maybe you can do that for a day or 2, maybe even for a week, but there's no time to really grow into this new person that you want to become. So my recommendation is you just take small steps, a little bit like that saying that people say about how do you eat an elephant. Well, you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. And it's the same with achieving weight loss. You're doing it 1 simple step at a time, and you are building those action steps one on top of another. And when you do that, you're going to get more consistency. When you get more consistency, you'll get more confidence. And when you get more confidence and consistency, you're going to get the results you are looking for. The 4th step is coachability. How open are you to being coached? Now, if you're one of these people who thinks they know exactly what to do, how to do it, and it's your way or the highway, then it's going to be very difficult for you, I believe, to become successful at weight loss, because when you set off on this journey, it's not a straight path. There are going to be twists and turns, there are going to be ups and downs, and there are going to be certain things that you have not anticipated where you have to maybe reevaluate what your plan is and take a different direction. And if you're not open to that, if you're not coachable, then you're going to hit a roadblock and you're going to fall and you're going to go back to square one. So the most successful people that I can think of are people who are open to being coached. And if you're coachable, you can go a heck of a long way when it comes to weight loss. Okay, the 5th step is accountability. Now that can be accountable to a friend, a family member, a work colleague. All I would say about that is, if you're going to be accountable to somebody, make sure they've got your best interests at heart and they are not going to be judging you. And obviously you've got a professional coach that can give you accountability as well. Because here's the thing, if you've never achieved successful weight loss before and you've tried doing it on your own, why continue to try and do this on your own? Why not get some external eyeballs, ears on your situation, somebody that can give you some sort of feedback and maybe just give you some insights into what you're doing particularly well and what you could be doing a little bit better to make the whole weight loss process a little bit easier for yourself. Not necessarily easy, but make it easier for yourself. Step number 6 is desire. Now, that's not really a step, it's more of a state of mind. You have to be in a state of mind where you have a deep desire to want to succeed and start to experience what it would be like to achieve the body, the shape, the size that you want. And you really have to, it has to be something that's so important to you. It has to be like top of mind. You know, it's no good if your desire is like number 4 or 5 on the list behind other things, you know, other people, other events. Because if it is, it will quickly get pushed off that list. It has to be, in my opinion, the people who have been the most successful at the top of your list. Now, me saying that, you may be thinking, well, Eric, that's not possible because I've got to take care of X, Y, and Z. Well, here's the reality. If X, Y, and Z are more important, then your ability to lose weight, get into good shape, become fitter, it will slide down the pecking order and it won't happen. That's probably why you're here listening to this video now. So desire is critical. And arguably the biggest step of all is step number 7, which is non-resistance. Now, what do I mean by non-resistance? I'm talking about the fight that you have in your own mind. And we all have this going on. There's a very good book out called The Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters. And he talks about the different parts of the brain. And one part of the brain he refers to is the chimp part of the brain. And the chimp part of the brain is the part of the brain that does not like change. It likes the status quo. So when you go in there like a bull in a china shop saying you're going to make some big changes to your life, you're going to start eating well, you're going to intermittent fast, you're going to hit the gym 5 days a week, you're going to get to bed at 9 a.m, you're going to get up at 6 a.m. When you make these massive changes, then the chimp part of the brain sees that as, you know, that's a big challenge and it resists it massively. So a better way of doing this to reduce that level of internal resistance so that the actions you need to take flow more naturally is to implement the previous 6 steps I've said. One of those being breaking your goal down to weekly, simple, easy to implement action steps. And when you do that, you become far less resistant in your own head, or resistant to the steps that have to be taken in order to help you to lose weight. Because one of the things that often happens with weight loss, it's happened with me, it happens with my clients, it's probably happened with you, is the second you start thinking about wanting to lose weight, there's a part of your brain that says, what are the challenges you have to overcome? What do you have to start doing? What are you going to have to give up? What don't you want to give up? And that resistance makes it very, very difficult for you to become successful. And that's not to mention all of the external stuff that can also impact you in terms of your ability to lose weight. So there are 7 simple steps that I coach my clients through when I work with clients. And if these 7 steps kind of resonate with you and you think, you know, I'd like to know more about this and it seems to make sense what Eric's just said and you'd like to have a conversation with me, then, you know, go ahead, find the link below this video, click on it, let's book in, let's have a conversation. Nothing to buy on the call, just a simple conversation, me asking you a few simple questions about where you are, what you're looking to achieve, what your current situation is, and then for you to ask me a few questions and then for me to explain a bit about how my program works, what the different investment levels are, and if we both think there's a possibility that we could work together and I can help you to become successful, then we'd set up a second call where we'd go into a lot more detail and would have that conversation after that first initial call. So if what I've said makes sense, find the link below the video, click on it, book yourself in for a call, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Bye for now.